Hello everyone, it's Cribini and Tina.
Hi.
Welcome to the channel. We hope that everybody's having a wonderful day and that you guys are in the best of health.
Yes, with health as always being most important. And today I want to do something I've been wanting to do for a really long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
I'm going to put my interviewer hat on. And I always say that people always tell us things must be so easy. Things came so easy. It seems so easy that you did this and that. And nothing in life is easy. You speak a lot about that when you have your inspirational word every Sunday. And I just wanted everyone to know, not Cribini, but the Eric that I know. And his backstory, I find it very fascinating and very intricate. There's so many layers and things that happened, as is in all of our lives, that make us who we are.
Right.
And
Right.
bring us to the point that we're at now, here with you guys. And I just wanted to get into that. So we're going to start where we should always start, from the beginning, right? So let's start back. I'm going to kind of move out of the frame a little bit because I want this to be about you. But let's start back when you were a child. You were born in Newark, New Jersey, late 50s, the fifth of 8 children that your mother had. Tell us about your upbringing. We're just talking to your mother.
Well, my upbringing was not normal as a normal child. Again, it was 5 of us living in a small 2-bedroom apartment. Matter of fact, I think it was. Let me see. No, it was 2. I know it wasn't 3. It was 2-bedroom apartment. My mother had a room, and then my brothers and sisters we all slept in bunk beds in one room. So it was a project on the 3rd floor, and we did a normal family until my mother and my father got into a fight, and there had to be something that was going on under the covers. And they got into a fight. My father pushed my mother. They had company. They were drinking. He went in her closet, cut up all the clothes that he had brought her, cursed her out, pushed her down, and he left. And I haven't seen him since. And I think I was about 7 years old then. I think I was.
So that was the last memory you have.
That's the last memory from my
your father. You were about 7 or 8.
Right.
Okay. All right. So how long after that episode with your dad did your mother sink into, I call it depression. I'm sure they didn't call it back then. Like a lot of us know, it was, you had an issue or a problem, alcohol, pills, whatever it was, but they didn't have labels. And now we see that it was clearly, it was depression over the loss of your father, her whole situation. She had to go and receive welfare and housing and all that for you guys to keep everything going, because your mother did not work, correct?
Mother did not work.
Yeah.
So I think I would say 2 weeks after my father had left, things really started getting bad. The refrigerator was empty because it was 5 of us and we were all hungry. We were little kids, so a lot of days we were actually literally starving.
So explain the depression. Did your mother just sleep all day, or what did she do? What was
her depression was alcoholism.
Okay.
And she turned to alcohol. She would go and stay in the streets for days, come home late at night, early in the morning, that type of situation.
Okay.
Because it took her to another level when she knew that she had to take care of us without a man in the house and didn't have any money. So it was really bad. The roaches were in the house. It was a bad situation.
So your brother Sean was your older full sibling brother, because you have 3 half siblings that were out of the house.
Right.
So the eldest in the home at that time was your brother Sean, who's 2 years older than you.
Right.
So if you were at around 7 or 8, your brother was about what, 10, 9?
About 10, I would think.
10 years old, you're at 8. And then all the other siblings, your other 3, were all younger than you.
Right.
They go by 2s. That's why it's because your sister's 2 years, your brother's 2 years after her, and then your other sister's 2 years after that. So those 3 were really little. We're talking, they were toddlers.
Right.
And your brother Sean and you had to care all day while your mother was in.
Well, she was gone. We was at the bar. We had to try to take care of the family without anything.
Okay.
So we began to just try to make it from day to day, still going to school, My mother would come home some periods during the day while we were in school. Then she'd go back out that night, have dates and whatever she would do. But at some point, we had the social worker. Because at this point, we were getting welfare.
So it was the welfare worker that came to check on you.
That came to check on us. My mother said, don't open the door for nobody. But we had to open the door for him because he told us who he was. Because if we didn't open the door for him, then the money would stop coming from my mother to take care of us. So she had to open the door. We had to open the door. We opened the door for him. He came in, asked us a few questions, looked around the house, seen the house was dirty, see that we wasn't supervised, went to the refrigerator, opened it up, no food in the refrigerator, just a jar of jelly, and that's it, no bread, and nothing in the cabinets. So he seen that we were in a bad situation.
Okay. And so now the government gets involved because the welfare worker comes in and he turns it over to CPS, Child Protective Services.
He turns it over to CPS. At that time, they contacted my mother. My mother admitted that she was an unfit mother. She couldn't take care of us. So she contacted my oldest sister, which is my half-sister, and asked her would she take all of us in to keep us all from being separated.
Now, your sister was married.
She was married.
She had 2 children of her own.
2 kids of her own.
She lived in Newark, correct?
Lived in Newark, New Jersey.
Had a home.
She had a house, 3-bedroom home.
Okay. So now you're going to your sister's house. Explain the conditions of the house. How large was the house? Explain what you went into.
Okay, so we went to this house. It was in a rundown neighborhood. You first walk into the front door. There was the kitchen. You look to your left. There was the living room. And way in the back down the hallway to the left, that was their bedroom. And we had a bathroom, a small bathroom downstairs. Then you walk up these steps, and there was 2 bedrooms upstairs, and that was it. So one bathroom had to take care of all of us.
Okay.
One restroom, and we had a basement.
So we're talking 7 children because there's you 5.
Right, us 5.
And then the 2 of hers.
And her and her husband.
And then her and her husband. So 7 kids, 2 adults, 3 bedrooms. So the 2 girls had their bedroom, and then 5 boys in the other bedroom. And then she was downstairs in her room with her husband. And then the kitchen and everything like that. So your sister starts to take care of you, clearly because she was receiving aid, because that's a big burden.
That's true.
So she was getting aid from the government to help take care of you, meaning they took the aid from your mother to give to her.
Right.
And to back up a little bit, the reason that your mother didn't have, because you still had your grandparents nearby.
Right, I did.
And you had aunts and uncles. But to back up a little bit, one of the aunts raised a child that your mother had, your brother Terrace.
Right. One of my brother Terrace, my mother couldn't take care of him because she was having him too fast. So she put him on a doorstep in a little basket for my aunt to take care of him and raise him because she couldn't take care of him any longer.
Right, and he was older than your brother Sean.
He's older than my brother Sean.
So then one aunt clearly couldn't take you guys because she was already raising one of your mother's children.
That's correct.
Your grandmother and grandfather had kind of ostracized. I remember your mother speaking a lot about being the black sheep of the family. You said it was mostly because your grandfather, who was the head of a church.
Right, he was the pastor, my grandfather.
And your mother had kind of went away from the church when she chose to be with your father. Right.
She kind of drifted away from the church, and she was out of the picture for quite a few years.
Right. So that was the reasoning for your sister to step in. She seemed like the logical choice because you did have an older brother.
Right, I did.
But he was off living his own life.
Right, living his own life, doing his own thing.
Having kids and married and all
that.
Yeah. Okay.
And plus he did some military time too.
Oh, okay. So because he wasn't, he and you were the only 2 that were in the military.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So you get to your sister's house. She's supposed to be receiving funds to be able to take care of the 5 of you. Yeah, it was small, cramped quarters. How would you say was your life with your sister? How did she care for you, and how did... Just explain your life at that house.
Well, we went into the house, and I came from my own house with my own siblings, and now we're in her house with her 2 kids. There were some days I couldn't take a shower. I couldn't use the tub because too many of us. So I just washed up from the sink. And I can't remember having a nice long hot shower to myself until I actually moved down to the YMCA. That's when I first had my first shower to myself, and then had to worry about sharing up somebody knocking on the door.
And food.
And food. The food, we would eat the food. I would say hand-me-down food. Some of you know the small carnation milk that come in a can.
Condensed milk.
Condensed milk.
Which isn't really milk.
Right.
It's for baking, and it's full of sugar.
Right.
Okay.
But that's what we had for our cereal in the morning.
Okay.
And so we had to mix it with water, put it in our food, and by the time I ate the food, the cornflakes was soggy. It was just a bad salad on my. It was just a bad situation. Her family would get the nice bacon and eggs for breakfast, and get the really good food, and we would get the subsidized food from the welfare system. Mm-hmm. The Harmony grade, the bread, the butter, the government cheese, the whole 9 yards. You guys know about that kind of stuff because somebody's living that life right now.
Right.
So that's when we would get the hand-me-down stuff, and they would get the nice stuff.
Okay. So now you are around 6th grade. Mm-hmm. And your sister comes up with this thing that she wanted your brother and you to do. And what was that? Okay,
so in the 6th grade, we were part of the church, and
because your sister did go to your so to back up, your sister did attend your grandfather's church.
Mm-hmm, she did.
Since she went to your grandfather's church, mm-hmm. anything that she gave would have went to your grandfather's church.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So she wanted you guys to do what? So
she wanted us to basically participate in a fundraiser for the church every year for my grandfather. So how it really went, it was like a contest to see who baby would win the most money. But at the end of the day, the money went to the pastor for the pastor's anniversary.
Oh, okay. So they were raising funds for the church for the pastor's anniversary.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And whoever won would be whoever's child raised the most money.
Right, whoever child raised the most money, that'll be the one that...
But the parents really got the glory.
But the parents really got the glory, okay. And we did the labor of getting the money.
So how did that go about?
Okay, so what happened was, we were told to go collect money in the community. So what happened was, I would walk out of my house early on a Saturday morning.
With your brother?
No, we didn't go to... Sometimes we went together, sometimes we didn't.
Oh, okay. All right.
So one time we did go together, got on a bus, got on a bus in 20th Street, went to the Newark Penn Station, got on a PATH train, took the PATH train all the way over to Madison Square Garden, 42nd Street, and we did all of the department stores, Gimbels, Macy's.
So when you said money. We did, what did you do? You had a...
We had like a Quaker Oats container, something like this, without the top. And we had the church's information on it, and we had a little envelope on it. And my main pitch was, ma'am, can you please help me out in my Sunday school class, please? Pennies or anything will help. And it was a man, it would be sir. So at the end of the day, we have $50, $60, $70, $80 in this container by the end of the day. And sometimes we've had so much money that my sister would have to meet us, so she had to pour the money out into a bag, and we start out with an empty container and go back out again. So some days we came home with $100 a piece, and it'd be quarters, nickels, dimes. I mean, all day long we spent out here on the train. Some days we spent time in Jersey, at Bamberger's and Gimbels, stuff like that. And then toward the weekends, we'd go to New York on the train and collect money all day long. That's what we did, but day in and day out.
So you were around 11 years old, mm-hmm. 10, 11. Mm-hmm. Your brother is around 12, right. 13.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
13.
And you guys are doing this rain, sleet, or snow, summer, fall, spring, winter. It doesn't matter. All year.
All year round.
And she never once went with you guys?
No, we're minus. We're out there on our own. We once we left that house.
So all over New Jersey and all over New York.
We're out there by ourselves.
By yourselves, right. And accompanied. Sometimes
right.
You by yourself. Sometimes you and your brother by yourselves. At least right. You had each other.
Right.
That seems it seems very dangerous to me.
And we'll see, other kids that go to school had little books, enjoying themselves. But we'll be out there working from sun to sundown collecting money for the church. And that's what we did. So I really didn't have much of a childhood coming up because I was doing that. I couldn't go to the park and play for the most part. I'd be out there on the grind, bringing the money. I brought the money in, gave it to my older sister, and what she did with it, that was her thing, but I gave her the money. I was the laborer, my brother was the laborer.
So if you were out there all day, did she send you with lunch or breakfast, or I mean, like, how are you?
No,
you're a little kid. How are you out there all day?
We would take some money, what we collected, get a couple pieces of pizza. We wouldn't eat a lot. We didn't have a full meal. We couldn't, because if the money be missing, she'd want to know we've been out there all day long and we came back short, so we'd be out there messing around and we would get into big trouble.
So because you guys were little kids, though, one day you said you did sneak off with the money, and what'd you guys do?
Went to Coney Island.
Right.
Went to Coney Island. We enjoyed. We got it with Coney Island. Maybe we rode a roller coaster a couple of times, and then got some pizza. And then because that's the only time we was able to enjoy ourselves when we break. But then we had to make that money back up before we got back home. Because if not, we'd get killed. We would get a beating for being out there all day long and not getting the right amount of money that she expects us to have.
So living in your sister's house, since we're talking about there was a lot of mental abuse, but was there physical as well?
Yes, well, we get in trouble as normal kids do. We couldn't get the average punishment as the average kid got back in those days, even today. We got beat with iron cords. And iron cords is something like something you plug the iron in, all that hard cord, the cord, everything electrical that you plug into the wall. Just imagine somebody's cutting the ends off. It uses an iron cord and doubling it, stripping you buck naked, wetting you down, and beating to your back, full of whelps, and sometimes blood came out, because that was our punishment.
Okay. So the reason that I am saying this, and there was more than just physical and mental abuse, but the reason I'm bringing this up is because, like I said, I feel like so many people think that you had such a privileged life. You know, you talk about the military, and you're a positive person. Like, you never dwell on any of this. There's been instances where we've talked about this because we both have mental and physical abuse all throughout our childhood. And so I think that that's a lot of things that we bonded on and we shared stories. But had I never known that, I would think that this positive person, that you just you reach to God so much for guidance and for forgiveness. And you know, you love your mother, you love your sister, even though you went through all this, and your brother that would come over and instill the capital punishment on you guys.
Right.
I would never know. And so I just the reason for this is I wanted everyone to kind of know what you went through, what you dealt with, because everyone has a story and everyone thinks they're the only one. Like, I used to always think, I tell you that all the time, I thought I was the only one that went through physical abuse practically daily. I thought I was the only one being dragged through hell. And then you meet someone like you, but no one would ever know that by looking at you or seeing where you're at now. But they don't understand the scars that got you there. So with that, we're going to leave this as part 1. And we will join you, because this is just literally the tip of the iceberg, because now you are at 6th grade and there is so much more to the story that we're going to get into. So we'll see you guys on the next video.
So in the meantime, between the time, always remember that life was always meant to be enjoyed.
Yes, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can get notified on videos like this and others, and make sure to give all videos a thumbs up to help that algorithm.
Peace.